real careful about what we're getting into here. I would not want to see anyone else have to suffer like that. It's called quality of life, and I understand jobs, but this meeting is not about jobs, it's about air quality. And that air quality is going to hurt a lot of people, and that's why I'm working against this thing. I appreciate what they're trying to do. We pay a lot of tax dollars, I pay tax dollars, to the local governments and the federal government for them to protect us from things like this. EDC and the chambers all get money from us. They should be doing something like getting jobs that aren't going to hurt us. So anyway, those people who work for the smelter counted on that company to protect them, and that company left town in the dark of night, and those people were left high and dry. So think about that too. So these are all personal experiences that I know of my own knowledge, and I think we need to be careful. Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is John Smith, and then we have James Bell.
Good afternoon. My name is John Smith. By the grace of God, I'm a resident of this county. I have a home here. I don't know how many of the rest of you have ever been homeless, but I have been. So I know what not having a job and an income is all about. So the family that I came from. There's a 5,000-pound elephant in this room. No one's talking about it. It's not me. The community doesn't want this plant. They attempted to weigh in on that with an advisory ballot, and they were denied that. I don't know how many of you people from out of town are aware of that. I hear a lot of talk about laws, and that this is a process of law that was passed in our legislature, including by some of our local politicians, that one who's also a state senator. And if you were to look at their campaign contributions, they're owned by the corporations. That's who's given them virtually all of the money. I went through the Carpenter's Apprentice Program. I have a long history and fondness of organized labor. I want to welcome my brothers in organized labor here, Solidarity. And I want to thank corporate for holding this meeting here, where residents would find it more convenient to attend. But I'm very concerned about this solidarity. The history of organized labor, if we're going to talk about the process here, which is broken, lies in concern with workers, their welfare, their health and safety, their families, and their community. We, the community here, are your natural allies. You should be standing with us. Since when did organized labor start to take on the agenda of the corporations? In this instance, the corporations are the enemy. They're not our friends. And if you want to talk about jobs, yes, we need jobs. But every parent I've ever talked to, and I'm a parent and a grandparent, would rather struggle for their child's next meal than watch that child struggle for its next breath. I want my brothers in organized labor to consider that you should be standing with the community. The politicians and the money are all on the other side. This is a grassroots movement in opposition to this. And I want you to know that I've asked the ORCAA officials, when's the last time you ever denied a permit? The ones I've talked to, including including the current director and the communications man, tell me they can't remember. So it's a pretty rare occasion. They can't even tell me the name of the last company that applied for a permit that they denied the permit.
3-minute mark.
So I would suggest this is a charade, and that the Declaration of Independence says that we have certain inalienable rights. We don't get these from the largesse of government, these officials, and among them are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And I would recommend and suggest you think that about air quality is a fundamental essence of life and the pursuit of happiness. We don't want to see our quality of life destroyed, and we should have the right to make that determination, and we've been denied that, the equity in it. All of this is doing is just looking to see if the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. It's a foregone conclusion. And again, I ask you to stand with the community. Thank you.
And then the last speaker I have on the sign-in sheet is James Bell.
Hello, my name is James Bell from Union, P.O. Box 396. I am the Vice President of the Union Tourism Association. And I just speak on behalf of myself here today. There's an opinion, though, that from the tourist community, that if you put a 170-foot smokestack in shelters, that it'll simply drive tourists over to us in Union, to our hotels and restaurants, and up towards Allen. And so we don't actually have any way of knowing if that will be the case at this point, because there hasn't been a full EIS done. And if there was a full EIS done, then those kinds of externalities of the plant would be looked into in terms of what would be the impacts to other sectors of income that Mason County receives. So I'd like to call on board and put my voice down for doing a full EIS so we can see what would be the impacts to tourism. So you know, I think about 1/10 of the income from the county is from tourism. So should go without saying that nobody wants to stay in a hotel next to a smokestack. Secondly, regarding jobs and the 24 permanent jobs, I think the best way actually to ensure that the air quality is consistent with if the plant is built, that the safety of the community is kept as a main concern, would be that those 24 jobs be union jobs, and that any contracts that are signed by unions to do construction on the plant should have that as a prerequisite, that this be an organized utility, and as union members that stand with your workers who would actually be working at that plant. Those should be union jobs and not minimum wage jobs, and that would best help protect this community should the actual plant get built. And then doing research, but it's actually even just waiting here to speak. I was looking on IDEW's website, and they have a number of grievances standing against Dupe Energy, the owner of the Adage plant that's been built. So I would encourage everybody to check out IDEW and look at other utility workers who work for the owners of Adage to see what you're actually going to get into in terms of your labor contracts for working on this project. You can check out, there's a website, dupeemployees.com, and dupeemployees.com lists all the different union grievances against Dupe Energy, again, the parent of Adage.
3-minute mark.
I'll go ahead and end there. Thank you.
Okay, I have no more speakers signed up, so I will turn this back to Fran.
Thank you. At this point, we are not adjourning the hearing. We will be continuing it. So we're going to take a break now. And at 6 o'clock, Gordon's going to do the same intro that he did before. If you want to stay, you're perfectly welcome to stay. If we get a number of people signing up, we'll come back into session and hear those people. If we don't have a number of people signing up, we'll wait until 6 o'clock. So just in case you don't stay, let me just go over the last piece. As I say, I'm not adjourning the hearing, just taking a break. The final determination, I'll evaluate the legal and technical merits of each comment received today. Only after all relevant legal and technical issues have been fully addressed will I consider authorizing ORCAA staff to issue a final determination. Final determination will be made after SEPA is finished, and that's Mason County SEPA, and after careful consideration of comments received and testimony heard at the meeting. Final determination will be communicated in writing to those people who sign up on the mailing list who provided testimony and or written comments. So again, even if you didn't testify today, if you want the comment signed on the white sheet by where Alan is standing behind Alan. The final determination will be one of 3 determinations. It would be to approve, to deny, or remand for further consideration. So again, I want to thank you for all your comments because we're going to be looking at those and make a determination about whether we have more work to do. And if we have more work to do, we would then have another public hearing, public comment period. So it's clearly not a done deal at this point in time. ORCAA staff will send written responses to comments and questions presented during today's public hearing and those submitted in writing prior to or at the end of the hearing. We will accept comments until midnight tonight. And again, to make sure it's midnight, if you want to send them in, send them onto our website.